Have you ever noticed those little black and white squares popping up everywhere, on menus, flyers, product packaging, or even flashing on your TV screen during commercials? They may look like a scrambled puzzle, but they're one of the most powerful tools in our digital world: QR codes. These tiny grids can instantly connect you to websites, videos, apps, or even payment portals with just a scan. But have you ever stopped to wonder, what exactly is a QR code, and how does it work? Today, we're breaking down the fascinating story behind this modern marvel on history of things. QR stands for Quick Response, and that name says it all. Unlike traditional barcodes, which use vertical lines to store limited data, QR codes use a grid of black and white squares to store information both horizontally and vertically. This makes them capable of holding hundreds of times more data than a typical barcode. Originally invented in 1994 by Denso Wave, a subsidiary of Toyota, QR codes were first used to track vehicle parts in factories. Fast forward to today, and they've become a global tool for everything from advertising to mobile payments. At first glance, a QR code might look like chaos, but every part of it has a specific purpose. The large squares in three corners are called finder patterns, which help your phone's camera locate and align the code, even if it's tilted. Then there are timing patterns, the alternating lines that help measure the size and spacing of the grid. Smaller alignment patterns ensure the code can be read on curved or uneven surfaces. Finally, the tiny squares scattered throughout are the data modules, where the actual information, like a URL, text, or payment link, is stored. When you scan a QR code with your phone, the process happens almost instantly but involves several clever steps. First, the scanner detects the finder patterns to figure out the orientation of the code. Then, it decodes the timing and alignment patterns to measure the size. Once it's aligned, the phone reads the data modules, translating the pattern of black squares, which represent ones, and white squares, which represent zeros, into binary code. That binary code is then converted into human-readable information, a link, a message, or even a payment instruction. What seems like magic is really mathematics and engineering working together in real time. One of the most powerful features of QR codes is error correction. This means that even if a code is dirty, scratched, or partially covered, your phone can still read it correctly. Depending on the error correction level, up to 30% of a QR code can be damaged and still work perfectly. That's why they're so reliable for outdoor posters, receipts, and packaging. The rise of smartphones is what really propelled QR codes into everyday life. By 2017, most phones had QR scanning built directly into their cameras, and during the 2020 pandemic, QR usage exploded. Digital menus, contactless payments, event check-ins, and vaccine passes all relied on them. Suddenly, what began in a car factory decades earlier had become a global lifeline for convenience and safety. Today, QR codes are more versatile than ever. They can link to websites, display text, share contact information, or even trigger app downloads. Innovations like dynamic QR codes take things further by allowing the link behind the code to be updated without changing the printed square itself. That means a restaurant can print one QR code for menus but update it online daily, or event organizers can change ticket details in real time without reprinting anything. So the next time you scan a QR code, pause for a second and think about the engineering behind it. What looks like a random scatter of squares is really a smart, resilient system that bridges the physical and digital worlds. From its humble beginnings in a Japanese factory to its role as a global symbol of connectivity, the QR code has quietly transformed the way we access information, make payments, and connect with one another. Sometimes, the simplest designs really do pack the biggest punch. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And if you have suggestions for future topics, drop them in the comments. We'd love to hear your ideas. This is History of Things, and we'll see you next time with more fascinating stories behind everyday life.